So, we haven't had the Resilient Jenkins as a topic of discussion more recently, but today they are. Today they are our topic. Now, Stephanie had posted a video and she had said how basically they got some really bad news and that it feels like the devil's coming at them and that they're just keeping faith in God. And to me, I don't know if some of y'all has watched it, but the Mans family from the Natalia Grace story, they sound a lot like them. And I don't think this has anything to do with a demon or the devil or anything like that. It has to do with y'all not paying your bills and y'all not finding a stable job to take care of your children. It all comes full circle. See how the way that is? So they're getting evicted. They are an eviction notice was filed on January 9th for Andrew or Drew Jenkins. If you guys don't know, Drew had this apartment with his son that he had with another person, and to our understanding, this apartment that he had was also he was on housing, so he was paying less than what somebody that just goes over there and rents an apartment for. Now when you're on housing, essentially you're only allowed to have whoever you go onto housing in the house with. Now, after he met Stephanie, she moved in with her 2 kids. They had a child together and she's currently pregnant. So that brings 7 people up in a 1-bedroom apartment. We'll just say 6 because she's pregnant. Now, this eviction was no surprise to us because one, they should have been evicted a long time ago. This is a fire hazard. And a lot of people out in Oregon are like, oh, well, at least they have a roof over their head. There's so many that don't. And there's so many kids that go into foster care, things like that. Wonderful, great. But at the end of the day, this is a fire hazard. If something were to happen in that apartment, not all of those people are going to get out. You get what I'm saying? That was the whole concern in the first place. Then the second concern was the way they were living. And a lot of people said, oh, well, at least they're eating and, all of this stuff. But yet they're going through infestation of fleas, moldy clothing, bed bugs, lice. Things like this were happening consistently. We've seen a little bit of a change at the end of last year. She was cleaning a lot more and she was posting a lot more TikTok affiliate videos to where we knew she was then getting sales from those videos. But also, they went viral. They went mega viral. And I had posted a video during this time because we were wondering, okay, what are they going to do with all of this TikTok money? Essentially, they got at the very least $6,000 from the one video they went viral from. That wasn't including any other videos. So they made between $6,000 and $8,000 the month that they went viral. Where did that money go? They're on state assistance, they're on food stamps, all of that stuff. They don't pay that much for rent. Why couldn't they maybe have saved that money and continued paying rent? But no, now she's on Facebook stating that she doesn't make that much from TikTok. And she does. So you make money from videos on TikTok. Now, the first video she went viral doing without saying that people were going to her page, because there was a lot towards the back end of that were just going to her page and watching the video. But before that, she had already accumulated over 1 million views from the FYP because people were commenting and sharing and doing all of that stuff with this story. And I can tell you, as a creator, a part of the Creativity Fund, she made upwards of $6,000 from that video. Now, they also made a lot of purchases on Amazon. I'm assuming that's most likely where all of their money went to, but it didn't go to rent because, again, they are up for eviction as of January 9th, and they have a hearing on February 19th for this. But Stephanie, I want to remind you, is about to give birth. I believe she's due next month. So you're telling me that these people made a lot of money, because in their situation, they're not working either. Neither of them are working. Neither of them have income other than possibly maybe some child support coming in and a social security check from Andrew's son. I don't know how true that is, but supposedly he is also receiving that, and they're living off of these, but they're getting evicted. It just doesn't make sense to me. So again, she's on Facebook saying that they don't make that much money. Well, I went and looked at their profile, and every single video she's posted, even after that viral video, has over 100,000 views. Now, if those views are coming from the FYP or not, I don't know. That's the only way she gets paid. But like I said, she's also a TikTok Shop affiliate. She gets tons of samples that fill their 1-bedroom apartment that's already cramped, and they're already struggling to live in this 1-bedroom apartment with almost 7 people. But she's getting free stuff from TikTok Shop. She's posting the videos. So she's also making money that way. Let's also not forget that she was going live for a really long time and making money through live gifts. So she cannot sit here and say that she does not make that much on TikTok. Yes, it's not consistent and it's not the same every single month, but she's making a substantial income from TikTok. Now, this also puts on the forefront, are they going to drop them from housing? Because essentially Drew, the father, didn't tell housing that he had added these people onto into his apartment. So they're going to be even in a worse situation, because then they're going to have to find an apartment. And from what I've heard, out there in Oregon, where they live at, it's very hard to find anything under $2,000 to rent, even 1-bedroom apartment. So they just put themselves in an even stickier situation than they were before. And honestly, can we say karma? You treat your kids like that, you have the mentality that you're not going to provide for your children, the universe and karma is going to show you a way that you have to do that. It's a part of life if you want to procreate. Don't know why exactly I've struck a chord, but I was never judging poor people. Actually, you're saying I'm sitting in my fancy fucking house, that you're sick of rich people judging poor people. You know how idiotic you sound right now? I am by no means rich, and if you think that having a house of your own or having a place to lay your head is being rich, then sure, I guess I'm rich. But you also know what? I work fucking hard for it. I've had situations where I've worked 4 jobs at one time. My husband works his ass off to put a roof over our head. I work for everything I have. I've never once been given something in my life without some form of repayment or mental anguish. I'm not at all shaming these people on how they live. They can live how they want to. However, when you put yourself in a situation where you refuse to work because one, child support of kids that you've created and decided you don't want, and you don't want the parents taking that for child support, that's fucking sick. When you refuse to work because you would much rather be a mother, do you know how many years I went through that of wanting to be a mom and staying home and feeling mom guilt for years on end, that I couldn't take my kids to school and pick them up because I had a 9-to-5 job that I had to be at every single day? I can tell you the Resilient Jenkins don't know how that feels. Because in order to have children that live happy and prosperous lives, you have to sacrifice. They never asked to be here. You had those children. And if that means displacing your comfort for even 1 second, that should be priority. So if you think I'm rich because I have a home that I rent, if you think I'm rich because my kids have their own bedrooms, then fuck it. I'm rich as fuck because I work hard as shit for what I have. And I can guarantee you, anybody that's put in this situation is going to do the same thing. But these people don't, and that shows you their character and how much they truly care about their kids.
Exactly. Considering that they're on housing, they're not paying that much a month in rent. They probably could have paid at least 6 months in advance. Now, I want to preface this by saying that a lot of times, the reason this could be happening is because, again, Andrew and his son were the only ones that were supposed to be living in the apartment. He added 3 more people, then had a baby and is having another one. Now, a lot of people are saying that this person that commented on my profile is Stephanie, and I can see it being true because actually that was the only negative comment I got on that video, even the filtered ones. This is actually in the comments of where this comment comes from, so if you guys want to check it out and see for yourself, you guys can most definitely do that. We know that a lot of narcissists like to create fake profiles to watch people and to comment like they're not themselves so they don't get backlash for it. Now I'm going to show you a couple of Facebook posts that Stephanie has wrote as well, because I just think that she thinks that she's super entitled even though she's living this way and neglecting her children. So here's the first one here. She says, I've had a great deal of people ask why we don't use the funds we make on TikTok to move. TikTok is about to be gone from what I hear. Narcissist behavior, using it as an excuse. And I barely make much on there as is. Why would it be wise to stake our living situation on those means? And I understand that because one month it can be wonderful, the next month it's not. But the fact is that with the first time she went viral, she could have put a nice down payment on even a 2-bedroom apartment. This post feels a bit vulnerable, but I'm not one to fake authenticity. Like I've mentioned before, as soon as we are in a good position to move, it's the first thing we're doing. Well, now you've been forced into moving, 1. 2, I can tell you get paid from Facebook too, girl. You have a lot of followers, and I barely have any, and I get paid on Facebook. And she repurposes her stuff on Facebook. Now, YouTube, it's possible. I also know she was repurposing content for YouTube, so that's also a possibility. So that right there is a bold-faced lie, first of all. And second of all, of course people have thought that far. But you're also not putting yourself in any positions to be any better. Let's see the next one. So here's another one. How do you internet trolls get away with what you do? I honestly want to know. How can you legally tap into someone's information and share it and not fall into legal action? Privacy is still a thing, and those who choose to invade privacy should be held accountable. Well, there's this thing called public records, Stephanie. Maybe you should take that up with your state government. But you won't, because you don't care. How is it anybody's business what kind of debt a family is in? And how about instead of publicizing someone's life and trying to break them down for it, you either shut your mouth or choose to help? Karma has some catching up to do with a lot of you. I will not keep taking the threats on my families lightly. It's really funny because, you know, when you're not holding yourself accountable, other people are trying to hold you accountable and you're still not being held accountable. This is literally narcissist behavior right here. Things are public for a reason. And not only that, you did that because I distinctly remember you putting where you lived on your videos, which you weren't smart enough for that. And your kids were wearing their school t-shirts, so people knew where your kids were going to school. So in turn, they figured out where you lived simply because you're neglecting your children. And you trying to make that fact not a fact is what's messing everything up. It's what's exploiting your family. You're no better than Ruby Frankie. You're no better than Jennifer Soto. You're no better than any other criminal narcissist mother that is out there, because you and your boyfriend, because you're not even married to him, you're married to a pedo still, don't know how to grin it and bear it and join the workforce for your children. Point blank and simple. So before you do all this and start blaming others because they were able to access your information because it's public record in most states, that's a you problem, not an our problem. Oh, and then you talk about how karma's catching up with you because y'all are getting evicted. And now you're going to have to be pushed and forced into the workforce. Because what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, it's not going to be that easy. Those kids deserve way better than what they have. And if you want to keep commenting on my stuff, it just makes you look worse, honey. Not me. I do know what karma looks like, and I'm watching it firsthand.